Hi y'all, it's Lara from A Wee Bit Worn on Poshmark, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm a part-time reseller. I have a full-time corporate job, so I do my reselling mostly at night and at the wee hours of the morning. So if you'd like to see a video on how we balance that, I'd be glad to do it. Just put some comments in the comments. I'm outside today because my husband's inside installing some more internet hubs or something. So I figured it was more quiet out here. I was watching a video a couple of days ago and I just really was inspired a little bit about what she was saying. Let me tell you, it was a video by, and I hope I don't butcher the last name, Maria Matarazzo. She's a reseller, a full-time reseller. I think she's up in the East Coast, maybe New York. I'll link her channel below. But she did a video on, is it too late to be a reseller? And I was really thinking as she was talking, and as she was talking, I was going, yeah, like I was responding back to her because she was hitting some of the really good thoughts that I was thinking through. I haven't been a reseller for very long. It's been about a year since I started doing research on Poshmark, and I can't even remember how it came up. I mean, it might have come up in my YouTube feed or something, and I started reading about it. I've always been a thrifter because I've worked with lower income women, and I try to help them to dress for jobs and careers and interviews and things like that. So it just kind of appealed to me, and I started doing some research on it. And it's probably about 10 months since I've been live, and it's hard work. One of the things that she said was, it's hard work, and it is hard work. And I think that there's a lot of things that I wish I would have known going in, and I've got 10 things that it's kind of advice or wish I would have known, about if you're going to start reselling now, you need to really think through it and know and understand that it is hard work, and it's not, you're not going to be able to afford a vacation tomorrow, like they talk about a vacation and a wedding and things like that on the commercial. You can make money, but you've got to do quite a bit to get up and started, and it doesn't happen overnight. So I've got my notes here. Number one is do your research. Research first. And a lot of the other topics are research topics, but the thing to think about is that before you just jump in blindly because you're seeing all these other people reselling, know that there's a lot of components to this, and there's a lot of things to think through as you're establishing this little business, because it is a little business, and you want to make sure that you avoid some of the mistakes that other resellers like me have made. We've all made mistakes. Because I think that it's not too late to resell. I've only been doing it 10 months, so I'm an example, but it's been a lot of work. So do your research first. I watched videos for probably 2 months, religiously at night, just nonstop, taking notes, thinking through things. So watch YouTube videos and look at the ones that talk about what brands to look for. I thought I was super cool and knew what brands to look for, but I was so mistaken. What people's inventory systems are. So, look in YouTube that just type in, Poshmark inventory system or reseller inventory system. How do they do that? What is their system? What's their inventory system? Expense tracking. So what's your bookkeeping gonna look like? Because I just kind of jumped in, didn't think through a lot of that, and I'll talk about that in just a little bit. What sells? Things that sell. So look at what sold on Poshmark videos, because you'll get to see what sold. Also, go through your own closet and pull out some things that you would think about selling, and then type those into Poshmark. Scroll down on the left and click sold items and see what things are selling for. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is spending too much on inventory and not being able to flip it for a profit after you put a lot of work into it. The second thing, I've got notes all over the place here. think about really plan your business in your closet. You need to, not an official business plan or anything like that, because that's a lot of work and it's intimidating. But what do you want your closet aesthetic to be? Are you just going to be cleaning out your family's closets, or are you going to make this more of a little mini business? Or are you going to really grow it a lot and eventually want to get into boutique business? So think about what's your goals, and what's your goals now, what's your goals in a year, and what's your goals in 5 years. This is what I do in the corporate world, and it's great when you write things down. You can go back and look at them, and people who write their goals down are more likely to achieve those goals. What is your vibe and your theme is one thing to think about, and then think about scale and size. Sorry, my dog is hacking up some hair. I know that's not attractive, sorry. What can you manage space and time wise? What is realistic for you? I've got a 1-car garage on the side of our house, and my husband's garage is on the other side. So that 1-car garage was perfect for my Poshmark area, but it easily gets filled up. And you could literally live with this stuff around you in all aspects of your house. I'll stick a picture in right here where it shows what my dining room table often looks like, and that can drive your family crazy. So what is your space around you? Do you have space for a little desk in a corner of a room, or do you have an extra room? Where are you going to hang inventory? How are you going to store it? And how are you going to know where it's stored? So that's going to be really important. I think I'm almost at 700 listings. I think I've sold about 300, and I've got about 400 live, and I have a good 12 big bins from Home Depot that are full of things. So just know that is really important. And I can tell you that Tori and Bill from Girly Girl Style and 324 Finds, they live in a cute little bungalow house in Seattle, but they've run out of space as well. So they're moving, but to get some more room, but it can really be a challenge. So think through that. Let's see, where are you going to get your inventory? Are you in an area where there's a lot of thrift stores around? Are you able to source inventory easily, or are you in more of a rural area where it's going to be more of a challenge? Are you going to go to garage sales? Are you going to go to buy sell trade stores? Are you going to thrift? Are you going to look in your own closet first? That was something that I wish I would have followed the advice of resellers, was that, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second, because number 3 is listen to the advice of resellers on the video. They're not just saying that they learned the hard way just to say it. They truly did, and they're trying to pass on that knowledge to people who want to resell. Poshmark is a great brand, and the more of us out there that are successful, the better. So they're trying to kind of bequeath that knowledge onto you. So the one thing that I thought that I really wish I would have listened to, because I have plenty of things in my closet. I'm still selling things from my closet. It is hot. It is Texas. I need some iced tea. If you don't have metal straws, they're on Amazon. They're wonderful, and they keep straws out of the ocean. And I have the 4 ocean bracelets. I'll link that below too, but I have one for a sea turtle, one for coral reef, and one for orca whales. You can get them for all the different things in the ocean. They're $20, and they will pick up 20 pounds of trash, I think, for each one. Don't hold me to that. Anyway, side note. So find things in your closet, or your kid's closet, or your husband's closet, and practice with those things, because it costs you nothing for the inventory. So your cost of goods are really low. They're nothing. And that way you can learn from that. I wish I would have listened to that. I think it was Beck's a Boss Lady that really emphasized that. And I just went out, I think it was September of last year, and I spent like $300 at the thrift store. I didn't know what brands really sold. I'd researched a lot, but I didn't get down into the numbers because the numbers are my least favorite thing. I'm more of a creative, people-y person. So get out there and see what things have sold for and listen to them. So this way you're really not spending any money as you're learning, and you might not even like it. So what if you think you want to be a reseller and then you realize that it's not something that you really enjoy? So start by your own closet and then listen to the advice that all of the other resellers have to say. So Maria talked a lot about different things in that video about being too late to be a reseller, and that's it was a fast video, but it had a lot of good topics of what you really need to do to be a reseller, and you need to think through those things. So number 4 is pricing. After you've thought through where are you going to get your inventory, you need to start practicing with pricing and really look at what you have available to you, what's your inventory, what are your brands, what's the condition, and what things are selling for out there, and you want to figure out what kind of a pricer you want to be. And this is a whole other video, so I don't really want to get too much into this, but some people are more of quality over quantity, so they buy higher end things and they price them higher versus buying lower end things and pricing them affordable for people, and they do more sales that way. So you really think about what you want to do and then look at the pricing, because if you start to sell things and it's way too much money, I've got a lot of feelings and thoughts about how people price things on Poshmark. You need to do your research. So the commercial advertises 70% off of retail. And the way that I look at it is I wouldn't get near as much on items in a garage sale, but I'm not going to get retail, even though I might have something that's new with tags. So that's a whole other video, and I'll do that. That's on my list to do. But you really need to think about that pricing. What's your margin going to be to make it worth your while, and to consider your time and how much money you're putting into this business. So you're going to have to get supplies and things like that. So what is really going to be that margin that provides you with enough income to continue with a successful business, for it to be sustainable and for you to stay motivated, honestly. Let's see. I've got down here look up comps, and I've underlined it because I cannot emphasize enough before you jump into this. Look and see what things are really selling for, and also look on eBay. Some of the other areas, eBay and Etsy. I was getting some Kate Spade earrings for my mom's birthday, and I always prefer to look on Poshmark first. And I found them, and I jumped over to eBay and just thought, oh, I'll see what they're going for out there. They were substantially cheaper on eBay, so that's where I ended up getting them, which is unfortunate because, somebody lost a sale. They were new on the card, on the little, product card. So, but, shop around when you're looking for comps. eBay also has the section on the bottom left where you can click sold to see what something sold for, because something's only going to sell for an amount if there's a demand for it, and it could be oversaturated. So there could be 50 of the same Free People top on Poshmark and eBay, and you're out looking for it, or you're out sourcing and you see it, and you realize, oh, there's a ton out there. So I'm either going to have to price this really low for it to sell over all these other ones, or I just need to skip it altogether. Then number 5 is, what do you really need to get started? And this is, again, I didn't really think through everything that I needed. I just bought a ton of clothes and plopped them all down on my dining room table and started doing some inventory and listings. And although that's fine to just jump right in if you're a jump inner. I needed to plan a little bit more. So, do you have a scale? Scales are going to be really important. Most things are going to fall under the 5-pound mark, but I've had several things that have gone over the 5-pound mark, especially when you sell bundles or you sell boots. I sold a bundle of several pairs of men's, what are the rock and revival jeans or whatever, and those are really expensive. So you need a scale so you're not shipping something out and you don't have enough postage on it. Boxes. What are you going to pack your items in? You can go to USPS and get free boxes. That's very easy, the priority boxes. And you could probably type in Poshmark shipping on eBay, on YouTube, and get a lot of videos about that. Polys. So what kind of polys are you going to ship in? Are you going to use the padded free priority mail polys, or are you going to get some on Amazon? Because everybody likes how cute they are in Amazon, and I have to admit I got some cute ones, and I still do because I like to brand my things. What do you need in terms of shipping? Do you need tissue paper? Do you need ribbon? Do you need the packing tape? All of those kinds of things. Thank you notes. That was another thing. I really like to put personal notes in mine. Eventually, it was only about 3 months ago, so I was selling a good 6 months before I did this. I had some cards printed on, like, I don't know, 4x6 little postcards so I could write to the people, and on the front is my branding. I did that on Vistaprint, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to write a note. You could do business cards. I know some people do that as well. But what do you need in terms of branding materials? That's going to be something that's important. And then how, really, how are you going to track your receipts and your spending? Do you need Excel? Are you going to jump right in and take this very seriously? Do you need QuickBooks for small businesses? What is that going to look like? How are you going to do inventory? What computer systems do you need? Because Poshmark works on your phone. Definitely you can do all your listings and things on your phone. I just don't think that I would want to enter all of my inventory on my phone. I don't do listings on my phone either. I like the desktop. So think through how you're going to track your expenses and what tools you need. And that brings me to number 6. Think through how you are going to do your bookkeeping and tracking your inventory. I first started with an Excel spreadsheet. I was doing a lot of extra work because I had all of these columns that actually are on the sales report that Poshmark offers for you, so you can download that at any time. So at the beginning I was doing a lot of data entry that I really didn't need to do, and I didn't really think through what my inventory system was going to be and how I was going to know what was where. And I had to go backwards and do that, and that's not easy, to go backwards, go through all your bins, put things in a bin, label a bin, and go back into your spreadsheet and identify what is where. It's a lot of work, and I wish I would have started it from the very, very beginning. So do that day one. And bookkeeping. There's so much that you can write off. Your gas, trips to thrift stores, these things that you're buying to get set up, your bins, your space in your house, different things. Now, I'm not a tax person, and we are definitely taking our taxes this year to a professional because there's a lot that you can do with a small business, but you want to make sure that you're keeping all of your receipts. So I know that there's lost receipts, that my husband's the worst. He'll go to Home Depot and throw a receipt in his truck and you'll never see it again. So just really think through what that is, what's your bookkeeping going to be, and where you're going to store your receipts. Let's see. And then number 7, what's your platform going to be? Are you going to sell on Poshmark? Are you going to sell on eBay? Are you going to sell on Mercari? Or I think there's like Depop and Etsy. What's that look like for you? And what can you handle? I know that there's a lot of resellers out there that sell on multiple platforms and they swear by it. And I understand why. There's different things are more marketable on one versus another. And you're going to find that as you dabble and start to get into things. I do majority Poshmark, and I am starting to dabble a lot into eBay. Sold on eBay years ago. So I already had my account and my ratings, my how I've been scored or whatever. I've got a good scoring system for my name, and I was able to rebrand it and get going. But I'm definitely going to be posting on there more often. But you want to see what you can handle, because if you cross post especially, you've got to be on it and pay attention and have to, the minute something sells on one platform, you got to delete it from another. I'm just waiting on that to backfire on me somehow. So if you've ever had that backfire on you, let me know. I need to ask Denali that. For some reason that she popped into my head. She does eBay and Poshmark, and I'm just interested if that's ever happened. So it's a lot of work, and you really have to pay attention to balance the platforms, and there's pros and cons to each one. I'm not going to get into all that. You can go search videos for, Poshmark versus eBay. There's a ton out there. And then number 8, where are you going to photograph? Because like Maria said in her video, photography, I think, is probably the most important thing for sales and for your business. And photography was probably one of the biggest challenges that I had, because I was really frustrated with different steps in the process. And I'll do a video on that as well, as to my path and of photography and how it's led up to now. But I had some really bad pictures, and it was because I was learning. You've got to take your pictures in square mode on your phone or it doesn't fit. And I've got a really nice professional photographer camera, and I was taking them with that, and then took 100 of them and then went to upload them, and none of them fit. So I was really frustrated because I had to redo everything. So think through photography. Where do you have light so you can get good pictures? One of the things that I look for in a closet, when I go into a closet, if something's wrinkled, if it's lying on a floor and I can't even tell what it is, or if it's dark or everything's really yellowed, yellow pictures remind me of the 70s for some reason. So I think something's old. You need to get bright, clear pictures of good, ironed, clean items. And getting your system down, it's going to take you a little while. I remember being so frustrated that literally I just would put my phone down and quit for the night. There's several reasons why I couldn't get them the way that they were, where I was taking pictures. My phone is it doesn't have the portrait mode, so I have an older phone. I think it's like a 7, it's like a 7. But just really think through your pictures and your whole strategy around them. If they don't look good when you're posting them, retake them then, because I'm still going back and trying to retake pictures of things that I posted that I wish I would have gone and retaken the pictures when my gut told me that I didn't like them. Let's see. Maria's got some good advice on this, and you can always search reseller photography tips or Poshmark photography tips, things like that. People use all kinds of different tools and resources available to them, from apps to lighting kits to backgrounds, all of that. So I'll show you guys what mine looks like and how I got there. And then where are you going to set up shop for shipping is number 9, because there's a lot of materials that goes with shipping. So you've got boxes, and you have tape, and you have polys, and you have tissue paper. I can tell you that my husband looked at this whole setup when I first started, wondering, what is she even doing? And is she going to keep up with this? And is this stuff going to stay around in my house? He was a little worried. Now he's a lot more supportive of it, that I try really hard to keep things where it goes, because it can take over your world. Where are you going to keep all of that? And then where are you going to pack? Because packing and shipping is the second thing that's most important to photography. Getting it right. Watch my video on how I shipped the wrong thing to the wrong person and vice versa. I sent two things. They should have gone to each other. I mean, they should, you know what I mean. I shipped one thing to this person and that thing to that person, and they should have gone to the opposite person. So that was a disaster, and I was so upset. But you need a good, clean, organized place to pack your shipping. I have all of my shipping supplies stored in one area, and then I bring them into my giant island in the kitchen and pack up just what I have for that evening. So I usually do that before I go to bed, if I have sales before I go to bed, or I do it early at the crack of dawn in the morning before I start work. And I'll just have a kind of a system there, and I get it done. So where are you going to keep all of that? You got to stay as organized as possible. And then 10, to end it all, to echo Maria, be ready for hard work. Like I talked about that already. I don't know if I knew how much work went into it. And I'm that person that I absolutely hate getting clothes out of the dryer, because I hang them out of the dryer right when it comes out, and I put them on the rod for the person in the household that they go to, and I hate that. So how I love this, I do not know, because it's a lot of dealing with clothing. So if you do not like cleaning, let's see, I wrote down everything. You're going to wash clothes. You're going to steam clothes. You're going to get stains out. You're going to clean shoes. You're going to clean bags. You're going to have things that you can't get stains out, and it's a wash. You got to throw them out or redonate them. You're going to have to photograph. You might have to edit a little bit, and editing pictures, I want to say you've got to be super careful. All I do is brighten up the exposure a tiny bit if I need to. Other than that, I don't edit pictures, because you want it to be exactly what the item looks like. Shipping, you're going to be shipping. You're going to be packing boxes. You're going to be printing labels. You're going to be writing. Okay, so my camera died, so I had to wait for that to charge up, and the sun has moved. But I'll finish this up by just saying, it's a lot to do. It's not just, overnight you're going to be making a lot of money. You're going to be listing. You're going to be taking pictures. You're going to be talking to customers. That's very important. Customer service is important. I need to do a video on that too. You're going to be packing, shipping, driving to the post office if you have to do that, inventory, data entry, tracking your receipts. Did I say photographs? All of those things are what a reseller does on a daily basis. So I always think of down here in the South, cheerleading is a huge deal because football is a huge deal, right? And people always look at the cheerleaders and say, oh, that's easy. I want to be a cheerleader because it's so easy. They're not really athletes. Have you seen what they do? The flips, there are 4 people in the air and they're flipping off and landing on somebody. They are athletes. And that's kind of what I think about when I think of resellers. It's a lot of work, and it looks great on the outside because you're making money, but it's a job just like any old job, and every job has things you love and every job has things you hate. So I will recap 1 through 10. I'll put it at the end of this video. If there's any video topics you would like to see, let me know. I have several I've mentioned that I'm going to be doing, and that's a wrap, everybody. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.